Hello, welcome to Shabez Basic Maths Academy. Today we are going to look at some of the law of indices. If today is your first time of watching, consider subscribing to my channel and follow my page. So the topic given on the board is laws of indices. And what do we mean by indices? Suppose you are given a number 2 raised to the power of 4. This power 4 is called what? The index. And this 2 here is called the base. And this index is just the singular form of indices. Index and indices are the same, but indices is the plural form and the index is the singular form. And this 2 here is the base. Now let us look at the law number 1, which is called multiplication law of indices. Suppose you have x raised to the power of m multiplied by x raised to the power of n. So this is multiplication law of indices. And if you look at the base here is x and the index is m. And also in the right hand side of this expression, the base is x and the index is n. Since the base are the same, then multiplication law of indices said we are going to write the base, which is x, the base is the same, then we add the power m plus n. So this is multiplication law of indices. Since the base are the same, you write the base, then we add the power together. So law number 2, we are going to look at what? Division law of indices. When you have m to the power of x divide by what? M to the power of y. So you will notice here also that the base is the same. The base is m. So division law of indices, we are going to write the base, which is m, then we subtract the power. The first power is what? X. Then the second power is y minus y. So this is division law of indices. So we are going to still look at the number 3 law of indices, which is power law of indices. Suppose you have x raised to the power of m and all is raised to the power of n. So power law of indices, since x is raised to the power of m and everything is raised to the power of n, we are going to multiply the two power together. So the base here is x, then we multiply the two power, m multiplied by n is going to give us what? Mn. So the law number 4 we are going to look at today is what? When you have what? X to the power of 1 over y, this is the same as what? Y into the root of x. And then law number 5 we are going to look at what is what? When you have what? X to the power of what? M over y. This is the same as what? Y into the root of x raised to the power of m. And the final law we are going to look at today is law number 6, which is called zero law. When you have x to the power of 0 is the same as 1. So any positive number raised to the power of 0 is the same as 1. So we're going to start from law number 1, which is multiplication law. Suppose you have 2 raised to the power of 4 multiplied by 2 raised to the power of 2. And 2 raised to the power of 4, we know that 2 raised to the power of 4 is the same as 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 into 4 places, which is going to give us 16. Multiplied by what? 2 raised to the power of 2 is the same as 4. Then 16 multiplied by 4 is going to give us 64. So we're going to use law of indices to prove this, whether it's going to give us 64 or not. So let us use the law of indices. So if we notice that x and x is the base, which is the same, then in this place 2 and 2 they are the same. Therefore the base is 2. Then we are going to write what? We are going to write one of the base, which is 2. Then we add the power according to multiplication law. And the first power is 4, then plus the second power, which is 2, which is going to give us what? 2 to the power of 6. If you add 4 to 2, it's going to give us 6. And 2 to the power of 6 is the same as what? 2 multiplied by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 into 6 places, which is going to give us 64. So this is how to use multiplication law of indices. Since the base is the same and there's multiplication, you write the one of the base, then you add the power. So the second law is division law of indices. Suppose you have 4 to the power of 3 divided by 4 to the power of 2. So we notice here that the base is 4, which is the same. then we write the base, which is 4, then we subtract the power. The first power is what? Is 3, minus the second power, which is 2, which is going to give us what? 4 to the power of 3 minus 2 is the same as 1. Then 4 raised to the power of 1 is the same as 4. So this is how to use division law of indices. If the base is the same, then you subtract the power. So the next one is power law of indices, which is number 3. Suppose we have 2 raised to the power of 1 and all is raised to the power of 4. This is the same as, according to power law of indices, we are free to multiply the two power together. So we write the base, which is 2, and 1 multiplied by 4 is going to give us 4. Then 2 raised to the power of 4 is the same as what? 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2, which is going to give us 16. So this is number 3 law of indices, power law of indices. And the next one is what? X is raised to the power of 1 over y, which is the same as y root of x. This implies that when you have what? For instance, we have 4 raised to the power of what? Raised to the power of 1 over 2. This is the same as what? Is the same as 2 root of 4. This is equivalent to this. And the law number 5, when we have x raised to the power of m over y. This implies when you have x raised to the power of what? 2 over 3, for instance. This is the same as what? 3 into the root of x raised to the power of 2. This is equivalent to this. And the last one is x to the power of 0. We recall any number, any positive number raised to the power of 0 is equal to 1. So in our next video, we are going to prove that any positive number raised to the power of 0 is equal to 1. So these are the sum of laws of indices. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to share this video to your kids.